So you're probably wondering like, dude, what is going on with your background? Why is your background looking all crazy, right? Well, the easy answer and the simple answer would be I got absolutely demolished, right? Wrecked on absolute greed that turned into basically market manipulation, and then end result was a rug pull. So the good news is that I'm not actually out of the game. I didn't get like absolutely just taken out, which is, you know, by design. And let's go ahead and get everything back to normal really quick, and then I will let you know exactly what happened. So everything seems to be back to normal. All right, so I don't want to like have the facade of I always win. I don't. I lose, I have lost a lot, right? So if my wins outweigh my losses, right, then I'm making money, right? So I'm okay with assuming certain levels of risk, right? Now, you can't appreciate victory without defeat. You can't appreciate winning without losing, right? So you have to lose. And for every winner, there has to be a lot more losers, right? So for every Olympic gold medalist, there's got to be like 1 million people out there that don't win the Olympic gold medal, right? And in this game, there's really no second place, okay? So this is just kind of a wake-up call to everyone that the market giveth and the market taketh, right? So they will taketh that right back if you don't pay attention. So please, for the love of God, pay attention, all right? So make sure your strategy is clear from the beginning. Mark your entries and mark your exits, all right? And know what you're getting into projects for, right? Know if your goals are short-term, long-term, medium-term, right? Are they just passive income? Is it like to get rich? Is it just regular, make a little bit of money, I want to be able to, you know, pay my bills off of this, or do I want to get wealthy off of this, right? And understand the projects that you're getting into fundamentally and technically, right? So if you do all of that, in my opinion, you will have way less of a chance of getting taken out, right? Which is why I'm going to tell you about this loss that I just took. Total L, absolute L, right? Of epic proportions, but it did not take me out, okay? And that is the key. I am not coming out of the game. You may have scathed me, you may have cut me, I may have bled a little bit. You know, Achilles, he'd be happy. He'd be like warrior status, right? But you did not take me out. I'm still here and I'm coming back with a vengeance, and that's what I'm doing now. So I just want to share, sometimes I do lose, sometimes I do win, but as long as my winners outweigh my losers, I'm good. All right, great. So what are the stats? The stats are, I bought 106.5 tokens in total, okay? I bought those tokens from anywhere from $345 all the way down to $2.50. I'm not even lying. Literally from $345. I know this sounds crazy, but from $345 all the way down to $2.50 in like the span of a week, okay? So I spent $2,292.71 in total. And I'm gonna show you this. I sold at the absolute bottom. Maybe not the total rock bottom, which, you know, I guess you consider that like a tiny win, but I did sell at the absolute bottom for $3.50 a unit. That brought me back $372.84 on my initial investment. It's actually kind of laughable. Like, I can laugh at it now because I'm a few days removed from it, and in the big picture, it's like a blip on the radar. It didn't take me out. It's like, you know, flies on a lion, right? It's, you know, my portfolio is definitely annoying, but it's not gonna make or break me, okay? So this actually lost me $1,919.87. So I lost almost $2,000 on this project that I invested like $2,300 in. So I got absolutely wrecked. I got demolished. I just like went full degen mode and just of epic proportions, got just murdered. So literally that's an 83.74% loss at the end of the day. Not great stats, Drew. It's not starting off that great. I can see why you had the red lights and your entire background was just absolutely wrecked, right? Okay, so let's get into what it was. What was the project, right? The project was Eternal Games. So the craziest part is I haven't seen anything like this in terms of magnitude in the time frame, right? Like the loss magnitude in the time frame since like BitConnect. And I'm pretty sure everybody remembers BitConnect. If you don't, here's the guy. BitConnect is like one of the most famous like Ponzi schemes ever, and it literally shed like 99% of its value like that. It was absolutely insane. Everybody knew what it was, but yet still people were buying it. So you could almost argue that those people were like knowingly buying into a Ponzi scheme, but they thought they were going to be able to beat it, but they didn't. So anyways, a lot of people got wrecked. Not what we're talking about, right? I'm just trying to show you something that like kind of is like a comparison to it, okay? So not like the real market cap, because we can't even get statistics on that anymore because the charts are absolutely so wrecked that I can't even get the regular market cap statistics off of CoinGecko because all they're showing is literally nothing, and you can look at it on CoinGecko right now and you can't see anything in terms of market cap, but you can just take it times the tokens, right? So I'm going to give you the fully diluted market cap, which was about $4 billion, because there's 5 million tokens in circulation, like total, once they're all mined and all that good stuff. And it went up to like $800 from literally a low of like 55 cents. And this thing went up like you wouldn't even believe. And we'll get into why that happened, okay? So now the market cap is literally 10.6 million. If you take the token price times the average, like the 5 million tokens, it's $10.6 million. So it went from 4 billion to 10.6 million in 7 days. BitConnect, like really, you know, like I don't know any other way to describe it except for this wasn't a Ponzi scheme, I get it, but it's comparable in the way that it just epically just got obliterated, right? So, okay, now that's a 99.75% decline. So not quite as big as BitConnect, but it rivals it. So that literally happened in 8 days. Insane. This whole thing's bottom dropped out like as hard as it possibly could have. Like, I don't know if it could have happened any faster. In crypto, 8 days seems like a long time, but when you're watching this thing fall like a rock, it seems like it's going fast. So you're probably like, okay, dude, it was at $800. You said you were buying from $345 all the way down to $250. Why were you buying? Are you stupid? So I'm gonna tell you why I was buying. I felt like I was making, you know, the right decision at the time, and I'll explain the reasoning behind it too. So Mark Cuban and Coinbase actually came out and backed Eternal about 2.5 months ago in late September, okay? They backed it for Twitch streaming and income generation, right? So I'm gonna give you the article, it's linked here. So basically once this happened, Mark Cuban, right, big deal. Coinbase, huge deal in the crypto sphere, right? Now, once this happened, it actually went from about 55 cents up to $800 at the top, and this happened like over the span of a couple of weeks, right? Like you can look at the chart, here's the chart. Now you see that chart and it's just an astronomical incline. Like it's just like moonshot. Like when you think moon rocket, that's the one, right? So those are the charts you're seeing, okay? So this is what started the run, okay? Now, I was not in Eternal at the time when Mark Cuban and Coinbase came out and said, hey, we're backing this. So I totally missed out on that run. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a genius and I was in before Moon, right? Because I wasn't. And so anyways, I basically waited for the pullback to come, right? And I was going to pounce when the pullback came because I was like, okay, this thing absolutely went parabolic. There's no way that this run is sustainable. Even though, you know, I know about like, it's only 5 million tokens and all that good stuff. Well, runs like this have to have a pullback. They have to have a cooling off period because you can't just consistently go up and never come down, right? Okay, so what I was going to do is I was gonna wait for that pullback, boom, I'm pouncing, and then I'm gonna ride the wave back up because it's usually like a couple of waves whenever you go up. This was the first wave. I was like, all right, cool, this is gonna be awesome, right? So This is a strategy that has actually worked out for me in the past, where I've seen these big massive run-ups and then I just wait for the pullback, like Dogecoin or, you know, Shiba Inu, and then you wait for it to pull back and cool off a little bit, you know, like let that RSI and all of the volume profiles kind of like slim down, right? Get out of that overbought territory, and that's when you can start picking things up, right? So I saw it crash down to like 350 and I was like, okay, this is at the beginning of December, mind you, right? This is the time to start building the position. Can it go lower? Absolutely. It started at 55 cents, but I've seen it happen a million times where something will shed like 50% of its value and then bam, we saw it with Shiba Inu, right? It went up like 18x and then it shed like 50% of that value, and that's where you should have started building the position, because if you don't start building the position there, you might miss that whole move because it might just bottom out there and just bam, skyrocket through. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna start building position. I'm comfortable with putting like $2,000 in this. I'm gonna start averaging in. If it starts coming down, then I will keep buying more on the way down, right? So I actually averaged in over the next week all the way down, and I put in a lot of like really like low ball, absolutely should never get hit orders, right? Like orders at like $2.50, $3.50, $5, $20, you know, $49 and stuff like that. And it's like this thing's sitting at $3.50. So I'm like, yeah, these orders probably aren't going to get hit. So, but I'm going to put them in just in case a flash crash happens, right? And that's one of my strategies that I utilize and make a pretty decent amount of money on. So check that video out whenever you have a chance, and we can go over that strategy as well. So now back to the video at hand. I had put all my orders in. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to Eternal. My plan was to hold on to Eternal for like a very long time. So I was really not worried about it. I was just like, I'm gonna let my orders hit. I'm gonna do all these other things. You know, I'm gonna run my business. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I'm going to do all of my masternode research, and you know, I'm going to put my money in the staking coins, and I'm going to trade options on the equities market and stuff like that. So this was kind of one of those like set it and forget it things. And it absolutely just wrecked me because I wasn't paying attention to it, right? So it's like a week later, it's continued to crash. It's like absolutely bottoming out. Obviously I got all of my fills, right? And I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy. Why did this happen, right? So then the news came out and I was like, wind blown out of my sails. Like I had no words, okay? So anyways, my business partner actually hit me up and was like, hey dude, did you hear about Eternal? And I'm like, no. And he was like, my guy just hit me up and said that Eternal is actually getting rugged, right? And I was like, why? They have a working game. They have this absolutely baller business model that people are playing the game and they're making money, and they have like NFTs. Like, it's just made no sense to me. Why is this, of all things, like getting rugged, right? So essentially it was too late, right? And then so it bounced to $3.50, and that's when I sold, because that's when I could, because I was like, this is probably the best price I'm ever gonna get out of it. Now, this is the part, right? I actually tried to transfer from Bitrue to Gate.io, because on Gate.io, Eternal was still going for like $15 to $20 at the time that I sold it for $3.50 on Bitrue. Okay, Drew, wonderful. Why did you sell it for $3.50 on Bitrue? Are you stupid? No, there was nothing that I could do about it. So basically what happened was Gate.io actually shut down the wallet. You couldn't even put your Eternal tokens into the wallet, which I think that this is incredibly dirty on their part. That's just my opinion, because basically they shut down the wallets so that they could offload their bags slowly on the poor people that were trying to buy those at like 5x the price that it was going for on Bitrue or whatever swap exchange that you could get them on, right? While they were keeping their price kind of like propped up. And I just thought that that was just so dirty. I was, you know, don't get me wrong, like I was trying to switch it over there and get those prices too, but I don't have like $1 billion bag. I don't have like, you know, 100,000 of these coins. I had like literally 100. So I was just trying to, you know, get as much money out of them as possible. Okay, so what happened, right? And I'm going to link Eternal's article, like their kind of rebuttal and their whole explanation of this in the description, so feel free to click that article as well and read it for yourself, right? So Eternal basically came out and said this, and these are gonna be high-level overview, kind of like Spark Notes, right? So we could pretty much observe how it was a devastating, just absolutely devastating, right? And really emphasize devastating fall, as big as the massive growth of crypto mines, right? So Eternal is crypto mines. That's the game. It's just ticker symbol is Eternal. So what they're saying is the drop was just as substantial as the incline in price, right? So, and just as quick, right? Now, people's confidence were basically totally eroded when the price of the token took a hit of that magnitude. However, the main problem in their opinion was that the NFTs have no additional cost or wear and tear, which causes an overpopulation of those assets, right? Then it reaches a point where some investors do not have to actually continue reinvesting because they're good. They have their avatars and that's that. So they actually came out with a way to combat this, and we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so Spark Notes, you said a lot, right? So basically when everyone has NFTs, it isn't really necessary to continue buying the coin, if that makes sense, because you've already got your character, you've already got all of your, fleets and stuff like that. You've got your swords and stuff in the game. So the only people that are buying the coin is people that didn't mint those NFTs so that they can buy the NFTs off of other people, right? So then when the coin drops, especially when the coin funds the entire game, right? Everyone starts dumping, then leverage positions start getting liquidated, then the bots start trading it, then the algorithms trigger these crashes, then all the people see it and they're like, I'm getting out, Eternal's crashing. And then it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's starts up here, one thing happens, another thing happens, another thing happens, bam, and you're just boom, crash out, right? Not fun. Okay, so the game is essentially stopped, right? It stops being played because people don't have the coins to play anymore, right? Because they're offloading them on exchanges. Duh, they don't have the coins. They are absolutely offloading them in troves, right? So the game becomes obsolete if that's the case and ceases to exist. Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Anyways, now only NFTs remain. So who's left standing, right? NFTs. That's about it. So at one point, Eternal was minting about 1.2 million coins per day. Then in the epic fall, right, they were only minting around 50,000 coins per day. So that shows you how much people freaked out when this happened, right? You're going from minting 1.2 million coins a day and now you're minting 50,000. Literally this astronomical amount of fear in the market, right? So essentially everyone ran for the hills. And I can't act like I didn't either, but I was trying to buy it on the way down because I saw it as an opportunity, and that was obviously before I knew about the news, right? But the only ones that were left standing are the ones who caused the dump in the first place, right? Essentially the people who bought a massive amount of Eternal, sub $1 or even, sub $100, right? That would still be a deal if it's going for anywhere from $200 to $800, right? Then they dumped it all the way down from $800 all the way to $1.50. Thanks, guys. So this is textbook greed, and greed basically turning into market manipulation, and in that market manipulation leading to a absolute rug pull. So Eternal is actually proposing to move the game to a different part of the metaverse and quoted a 5-day turnaround after voting ends, right? A timeline that they've already not hit, and then 2 weeks for the beta testing of the 3D platform world that whatever. And this was all proposed on the the 7th of December, right? And it has already been over a week with literally no movement. I'm just come on. So there's basically no update on how the vote started or ended that I can see. So fun stuff. Yeah. So they also propose to give mint discounts to the players that are already playing the game and already part of the project, right? And then when they migrate over to this new one, right? So they also want to degrade the NFTs over time, and this is in their mind in hopes that they continue to be bought and sold, and they, kind of allow the longevity to the project, because you'd have to mint more when the NFT degrades, right? That's what we think, but does that make people not want to play Eternal? I don't know. You know, what if you bought a painting, right? And somebody was like, hey, no matter what, your painting goes down 10% a year. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to buy that painting, dude. You know, like, I already take that hit on my car every year, so I don't know if I'm going to buy that painting. So does that work for them? I'm not 100% sure. So what about people's fleets? So for the people that know what Eternal is, for the people that play Eternal, you're probably like, oh, there's people that have fleets. Like, are they just totally just screwed, right? So actually, no, we actually have a fleet. So, you know, we're still waiting to see what's going on with that. But they basically said you'll be able to convert your fleets into discounted tickets for mints from the crypto mines, like Reborn. That's what they're calling it, Crypto Mines Reborn. So Eternal Reborn, right? So depending on your rank and your amount of mine power, right, your mining power, you will be given a number of discount tickets for mints in crypto mines, right? The Reborn version, at least. Obviously, you don't want them for crypto mines because it is obsolete. So this is for the people that are already playing the game and not for new people. So people like us that have like a fleet, whatever, you can do this. So there's also going to be no pre-sale on the new project, no pre-sale. So nobody's getting in at a good price and then going to be allowed to run it up to 800 and then just dump everything, right? Like dump like 80% of the tokens. So mints will also be more expensive in the new crypto mines, and they'll actually close after 3 weeks, right? So then you have to breed in order to get new NFTs. So I actually like that. I think that's kind of like a fail-safe, but not necessarily a total fail-safe, right? But we're going in the right direction. We'll just put it like that. So essentially, it looks like we can recover a little bit of our money via our fleet, right? If Crypto Mines gets the new like Reborn edition up and running. Now that's a big if, in my opinion. So that's why I sold all of my Eternal tokens. Obviously, can't sell the fleet. We just kind of have to hope that they do something for us, right? So this is just my opinion. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I think this actually puts a damper on the project forever. So until people can really like forget, right, I don't see Eternal recovering very quickly. Essentially, their marketing team has its work cut out for them, and I feel for them tremendously, right? Because Eternal was an absolute rock star project, and it's just like, they killed it. These whales, the people that bought, you know, during the pre-sale and whenever it was at like 50 cents, and they murdered it. And it's just, it sucks, you know, like, yeah, I lost $2,000 on it, whatever, but for the longevity of the project, like a lot of people lost a lot of money and they lost an entire project, right? So hopefully they can get it back together and change the tokenomics like they proposed, and then it's all up from there, right? In a perfect world. Now, with all that being said, what is the key takeaway here? Okay, so some things you just can't predict in this market, right? And you absolutely have to pay attention. So my issue was I wasn't necessarily positioned badly because given the historical, I guess, data that I had in making these exact type of moves, I was actually positioned very well, but I wasn't paying attention. I kind of set my positions up and forgot them because I knew that I was going to hold on to this project for quite a while, okay? I was going to let it accumulate and then run its course and do its thing and make me some money, but you gotta pay attention. So I am going to be hyper aware of big dumps like this on projects like crypto mines because I now saw, like, literally saw, witnessed, whatever you want to call it, experienced, right? What happened to the project. And let's be real, history repeats itself, okay? So make sure if you are building positions, be in that community, right? The Discords, the Twitter, the website, the Reddits, etc. All of those things so that you are up to date on everything that's going on. Because literally, I didn't even know that this was happening until my business partner hit me up and was like, hey, this guy told me about Eternal. Were you buying positions? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, wonderful, beautiful, you know? So, whatever. Anyways, I might not have gotten out like break even, but I may have only been at like a 30% loss instead of almost the entire bag had I been more active and just more like involved in this position that I was building, right? So pay attention out there. Everyone, please pay attention. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise, and there are a lot of ridiculous amounts of moving parts to this entire industry. So just be hyper aware, be sensitive, whatever you want to call it, just pay attention. You know, this is not a market that you can just set and forget when you're talking about low cap or even like some newly established projects, right? Like, I get it. You can buy Bitcoin and like set it and forget it, right? But when you're talking about crypto mines that was at like a 20 million market cap, probably need to pay attention to that. So pay attention and don't invest more than you're willing to lose, right? Proportionate to your portfolio. Proportionate to your portfolio. Like, reiterate that in your head. Don't be investing your half of your bag or 75% of your bag in one thing. Diversify. Make sure that your position and the risk that comes with that position is proportionate to the size of your portfolio, okay? So that's essentially my only win, my key takeaway. My learning lesson from this is just make sure that you allocate your portfolio proportionally, which is why I didn't get wrecked, right? So I know I did all the like theatrics and whatever to get everybody's attention, like, hey, I got wrecked. I did get wrecked on that position. My portfolio did not get wrecked like that. So I'm still here, I'm still trading, I'm still accumulating, I'm still investing, I'm still doing my thing, but I just want everybody to know we all take losses. If anybody tells you that they got there without losing, they're lying. Everybody has to lose in order to win. So if this content was helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell like somebody just dissed your mom, right? You want to be the first person to see this stuff when I drop it, because I'm dropping straight bombs most of the time. It's not going to be usually me talking about a project that I got wrecked on, right? If you have anything to say it in the comment section below. I'll never shut anybody down. Hit me up on any social medias. Share this stuff anywhere, because we can get new blood into the market. It'll pump up our positions and we'll all win together. Thanks for showing up, everyone. I appreciate the support. I will see you in the next video, hopefully under some better circumstances next time.